Hi everyone, it's Sue Plumb here to share a scrapbook process video with you. Today's layout that I'm sharing was created for the Cocoa Vanilla Studio design team, and I am going to be working with the gorgeous Storyteller collection. Now, the assignment for this layout was that all of the members of the Cocoa Vanilla Studio design team are focusing on storytelling this month. Now, this is not only in honour of our latest collection, but it's obviously also getting back to our roots and what scrapbooking is supposed to be all about, which is indeed telling stories. So for this layout, I decided to create a mixed media page, and I just gave you a quick look at a couple of the mediums that I'm going to be working with. One is a light peach coloured acrylic paint, and the other one was Prize Ribbon Distress Oxide. So I'm looking at creating a background that combines the two of these. So I'm starting with the acrylic paint there, which I'm just giving it a bit of a shake up, and there is my normal, very fancy paint palette, and I am just using a small rubber brayer. Now, I'm going to be covering approximately half of this cardstock, leaving a bit of a border, a white border around the outside. So I'm going to be covering approximately half with the acrylic paint, and then I'm going to cover the remainder of it with the Distress Oxide. So I really love the effect that using a brayer with acrylic paint gives. It gives you that sort of mottled, textured type of look. And it also helps you paint your paint to dry super fast because it's a very thin coat. So what I'm doing with the Distress Oxide is I've just swiped it on my messy mat there. I've got my favourite number 4 brush. I've just mixed up a bit of water with it, and I've just used long, wide strokes just to apply it to the other end of the page. Now you can actually see the place where the oxide overlaps the acrylic paint. Now acrylic paint being a plastic based paint, you can see creates a resist for the watercolour there. So you will see that the watercolour will go and fill in those little gaps left by the acrylic paint and soak into the cardstock, and it will resist in the areas where the acrylic paint is. Now, you're not really going to see any of that spot where these two mediums are overlapping, because that's actually where I'm going to be putting my patterned paper. So you can see that beautiful pattern paper that I've got there, which is actually one of my favourites from the collection. It is called Oh My Heart, and it's got a series of these brightly coloured overlapping hearts. It's a beautiful pattern, and I'm going to be running that sort of across the centre of my page there, roughly centre of my page, and I'm going to be sitting my photo on it. So you can see I actually mucked around with a little bit of the placement of this because I wanted to ensure there was still plenty of the two mediums visible. So I wanted plenty of the peach visible at the top, plenty of the blue visible at the bottom, but I didn't want to cover up too much of that paper. I also wanted to see where I was going to weight my photo on the page, and I'm going to run that strip of the green patterned paper there, and I wanted to sit roughly behind the kids' eye lines. So those two kids that I am scrapping this photo is actually my son and his friend, and these two have been friends for many years. They actually met when my daughter was in prep or in kindy, depending on where you're from. They were both in prams, and they sort of met by default when the two older sisters became best friends. So they have known each other almost all of their lives, and I am so happy to see that their friendship still endures to this day, and they still enjoy hanging out with each other and doing lots of the same things, sleepovers, play dates, you name it. And yeah, it's just really sweet to see them hanging out together. Anyway, that's the backstory to the photo. So getting back to this layout. Now, once I had that pattern paper piece in place in the centre, I also had that additional horizontal strip, as I said, which I sort of wanted to run right behind the eye line, which is the focal point of the picture. I really wanted to add something along that top edge of the acrylic paint, just to give me an anchor piece where I could then build an embellishment cluster later on. So I actually added an extra piece of that Oh My Heart print paper, and I've just added that along that top edge there. Now you will see that I have used my T-square quite a bit in the making of this layout, wanting to get those horizontal pieces straight on my page because I knew that I hadn't done any kind of measuring for the paint or the watercolor on the background, and I knew that the square that I had painted on the page was a little bit wonky. So making sure that those horizontal pieces of paper sit straight on the page helps to bring everything back to square. Now, I've been through the A5 paper stack that comes with this collection. I'd found that blue patterned paper there that I used to map my photo. I'd also tucked in that small yellow doily because I just wanted a little extra pop of colour in the corner there. And now I'm adding some frayed gauze to create some texture on my page. I'm really messy when I put my gauze on. Really, I just cut off a piece, fray it up with my fingers, and then you will see me use my long arm stapler to secure it to the page. And then later on, when I do adhere my photo, which has got scrap cardboard on the back of it, I use my Helmer 450 liquid adhesive to stick that down. Now, you would have seen that strip. I didn't use my T-square properly the first time I put it down, so I actually ended up lifting that back up and re-sticking it down just to make sure it was straight on the page. Okay, so the next element I was looking at for this layout was actually a place to put my journaling. So I had a look through the pocket card pack and I found that little pocket card there that's got the coordinating strip of hearts along the bottom of it. So I knew it would work well with the Oh My Heart paper. And I decided I was going to use that for my journaling. So I just popped it into my manual typewriter and I ended up typing my journaling on it. So as I said, because we are doing this focus on storytelling this month, you will see that photos and journaling will really be a focus from the team, and they're really going to be focused on telling a story through a page. I mean, I know we all get slack on journaling from time to time. Well, I know I do, and that sometimes I create layouts that don't really have much journaling on them at all. But as I said, this month is all about getting back to our roots and making sure that we are telling stories on our pages. Okay, so I am just sticking that pocket card in place there alongside the photo. You can see that it's full of my journaling that I've typed on there from my typewriter. I am just going through bending up the corners of a few of the bits of paper that are on the page just to help give it a little bit of dimension. And now I am going on with my embellishments. So I'm working with the die cut ephemera pack, and I actually stopped my camera while I went through the die cut ephemera pack, and I pulled out some pieces that you can see there on my desk that I thought would work on the page. So I started with that little subtitle piece, for want of a better word, that I've stuck at the top of the journaling, which says the story behind the photo. And I've popped that up on a bit of foam tape because I wanted to raise it up above the journaling. I wanted to help it stand out on the page. At the bottom of my journal tag there, I've got another die cut ephemera piece, which is that little banner that says Happy Little Moments. And again, I use foam tape from that one to pop it up from the page. And now along that top piece of paper that I had put there to act as my anchor point, I'm creating a cluster. I've got the floral piece and the camera, which are both from the die cut ephemera pack. And you will see that I go in later and I add a wood button and also a chipboard piece from the chipboard stickers pack to that cluster up there to finish it off. Now, given that I had used my long arm stapler before, not everything is completely stuck down on the page. So from time to time, you'll see me pick up my fine line bottle and just squeeze a little bit of glue in between some layers just to help them adhere properly down on the page. You'll see that I found that beautiful little row of bunting there that I've also added foam tape to the back of it. That acted as a really nice sort of little underscore to my photo and just helped to highlight it on the page. It also gave the page, a playful feeling. So I really liked the way that that looked underneath the photo there. Now, what else am I doing? I went back to the accessory sticker sheet a number of times for this layout because normally I would use several of the phrase stickers that are at the bottom of the accessory sticker sheet on any layout. They normally go on all of my layouts. Now, the reason I think I kept going to the sticker sheet and then going away from it is because of that amount of journaling that was already on the page. It was very text heavy, and they just didn't look right on there. I didn't want too many words on the page, obviously, because I wanted the photo to still do most of the talking. Now, underneath my photo, I'm actually using some of the foam title stickers to create my title. So I just used the words "so sweet." That tied in really well with the journaling that I'd done, which actually mentioned about how sweet it was, their relationship. I am also going in with those die-cut butterflies from the ephemera pack. I'd chosen 3 of those. And I just placed those to form a visual triangle around my photo there. I was looking for areas of the page where the colours that I'd chosen would contrast. So that's why I've got the yellow one down the bottom, obviously on the blue watercolour paint. I've got the blue one up on the peach paint. And I really like the way that they look on there. Okay, what am I left with now? Oh, I'm going to go in with some of the wood epoxy buttons, and they will come in next. And as I said, you can see that I've already added that chipboard sticker, that little banner up there that says noteworthy, that I've added along that top cluster. I really like the way this page ended up being weighted, although initially I had been concerned that with so much text down the right hand side of the page that it would look too heavy down that side of the page. But I was able to balance that off with this cluster up in the top left corner, and then by adding that title using the foam title stickers down the bottom of the page in black, and I think it did end up having a really nice balance, this page. Okay, so I've got my wood buttons on there. I think that was just about it. Oh, I did add one little sticker up on that corner of the photo there, the one that says "so happy." So the final step for this layout was that I was going to go in with some black ink splatters, and this was to tie in the blackness from the title and also the darkness of the photo. So I just wanted to mess it up a little, Sue style of course, and add those black splatters to the page. Okay, and that was it. That was all I did to this layout. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed this and you're feeling inspired to scrap a story in your next project. Get those stories down. That's what it's all about. If you have any questions about anything that I have done today, don't hesitate to put them in the comments below and I will get back to you as soon as possible. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you would hit the subscribe button. And as I said, thank you so much for joining me and I will see you next time. Bye.